Hello everybody, welcome back again to another video. So this is the Halo, the show, I guess, season finale. But before we get into that, I kind of want to say thank you for the continued support as we have now reached the 200 subscriber mark. So thank you very much. That was the goal I set for this year, so I want to say a quick thank you. So now let's get into it. So please hit that like button, comment down below, and consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss any more content. With that out of the way, let's get into the review, shall we? So the first scene opens up, it continues off where the last episode worked off, where Chief is waking up from being knocked unconscious by the whole artifact being activated by Makee. Well, moving on, so it's actually revealed that she did take it after knocking everybody out. You know, Keyes tells John this, and John turns back around, and it's revealed that Ritz and Vanook has Kai at gunpoint, and Chief has to end up revealing to them everything about how they were brought up, everything about the Spartan program, everything how Dr. Halsey lied to them, kidnapped them, everything. So you kind of get the general idea. So, and then Captain Keyes backs Chief up on this, and so Chief, Vanook, and I probably said his name again, wrong, but whatever. And Ritz actually try to capture Makee as she's headed for the Covenant Phantom that was captured back at episode 1, if you remember, going all the way back. And meanwhile, while the rest of the Ulysses is trying to get Halsey and her assistant to come out of their ship before they can take off, because I remember that it was the EMP wave from the artifact. Remember that disabled everything. So while they're trying to quickly get everything back up and running, and meanwhile, while Kai is sent to go after him, so the rest of the server team try to capture Makee and get the artifact back, but alas, they are too late, as it has successfully taken off before they could get there in time, unfortunately. Meanwhile, Kai goes after Dr. Halsey and manages to literally leap on top of the ship before it could take off into the air. Fortunately for them, she does break in, and when she tries to get answers from Dr. Halsey about, who is she? Who am I? And Dr. Halsey said that she is who it wants to be, and as she's saying this, her assistant has a brilliant idea to hit Kai from behind, while, with her helmet off and everything. That only stuns Kai for a few seconds, and she outright just launches him into a nearby light bulb, seemingly killing him in the process. Well, it's kind of what you get for, attacking a Spartan from behind. Not exactly very smart, don't you think? So yeah, he's dead. He's killed off. And while Dr. Halsey takes off, manages to escape an escape pod and takes off, the ship crashes, but fortunately, Kai survives, surviving another, near-death experience. So, and this is the third one? Man, Kai is a beast in the show, man. She's tough. Anyway, moving on. Back in Miranda's lab. So her, Chief, and Paragoski try to figure out where did Makee take the artifact, and Chief as revealed that through this information he trusts her. He says it for a while when Paragoski's, how can you trust her after what she just did? And Chief said, I trust her for a while, and he asked Cortana to pull up any gravitational fields around that system that Makee told him about a few episodes ago, and it is revealed that because of the gravity effects in the area, literally the planet the Covenant are on were literally just standing there right in front of them. They just couldn't see it. So now they got the location. Silver Team is being sent to invade the planet, literally going on a suicide mission basically, and get the artifacts back. So, and now once they're on the Pelican ready to take off, Keyes has a heart-to-heart moment with Chief, where Chief said there will be a reckoning. Keyes apologizes again, saying that there are things that he regrets doing, and he knows that apologizing will not give Chief back what they took from him. And Chief says there will be a reckoning, but not today. So as the rest of the Silver Team aboard, Kai asks, were you really going to shoot me? And Kai, and they were they were asking her essentially, so, and Kai was like, I would have done the same thing, but I would immediately feel bad about it. So kind of giving, witty banter between the team, So, which I really like. I think Silver Team was like, they definitely were the bright spot of the show. At least one of them, anyway. Anyway, moving on. And it's revealed that Dr. Halsey has safely crash landed in her escape pod, and as she's trying to run, the UNSC unfortunately catches up to her and places her under arrest. So, meanwhile, back on the Covenant planet, it's revealed that Makee did make it safely back to the planet, and we see some good looks at Honor Guard's armor, and oh boy, they look really good. So, again, I really like the aesthetic that they went through with the show, especially, like stuff like this, I like it. Anyway, so, and also the process, you gave us two of the artifacts that you promised, and I believe it was Regret who also brought up her promising to give, the prize to Demon's Head, which she did not do, but, anyway, moving on. Then, meanwhile, back to Silver Team, it is revealed Cortana admits to Chief everything that back after he was placed under arrest. She revealed that she was created to, essentially take over Chief's armor, his mind, everything. And Chief asked why didn't she? She said that she didn't want to anymore. And, no remark, Chief asks, would you still? And she says, I'll wait for the less beat up version. And I, crack a smile from Chief, kind of showing the kind of, dynamic from the two, like in the game. So, hey, that's okay in my book. So, fortunately, finally, anyway, moving on. And it was revealed after they ran into the gravitational effects, they fortunately stayed on course, or it would essentially tear the ship apart. Fortunately, it didn't, and they've made it to the Covenant planet safely and sound. Moving on. Meanwhile, so it is revealed that instead of essentially, they're going to execute Halsey, essentially do Article 72, like they ordered on, what's her name, Kwanaha at the beginning of the show. So instead of placing her under arrest or in jail, it's like she's too dangerous for jail or a proper trial because they decided to do it independently, but privately and whatnot. And it already came to clear that she's guilty. And Dr. Halsey revealed that the reason she kept Miranda from all this because she thought she was protecting her, but instead it had the opposite effect. It hardened her, and Miranda just simply said, "Goodbye, mother." So meanwhile, it is revealed that things are not all rosy with Makee and the province. As revealed that Regret argues that she has sold overall too much with their presence, and after they find the Halo Ring, they're essentially going to kill her and the rest of the human race. So basically, they're reusing her. So yeah, and I kind of feel bad for Makee in this situation, despite the evil that she's done. She kind of was misled this entire time, kind of like how the Arbiter was in the games. If you really think about it. So maybe they'll introduce that storyline in season 2 and beyond. Who knows? So anyway, moving on, and Blue Team safely departs and jumps out. So we get that money shot from, I think it was like the story trailer that they did before the show came out. So Outlaws Halo 5 style dropping onto the Covenant planet. Anyway, moving on. Oh, and when the Covenant successfully merged the two artifacts together, Makee and John started getting affected by it, and Grodd notices it and alarms, so the Silver Team is compromised. So, and that's where the action fully begins, where a bunch of elites just surround under the mountain because Cortana couldn't detect them, because something was off. And then all hell breaks loose, like we're a whole bunch of brutes, and it looks like they're taking the armor designs from like the chieftains from Halo Infinite, it seems like. So, but you also see like spikers, gravity hammers, you get so forth, and then Big Boy shows up, Atriox. So I was kind of surprised that it was revealed to be Atriox and not Tartarus, but then again, Atriox is like way more popular, especially among the newer fans nowadays, so it kind of makes sense they would go with him instead. But then again, Atriox was in the Covenant too. So, hey, maybe they go crazy with it, and eventually they have, the whole Banish thing. Who the hell knows if the show lasts that long, but, who knows. Anyway, moving on. So thus, Chief eventually tries to fight off all the brutes. He successfully takes out a few of them, but he's eventually overwhelmed, and gets into a fight with Atriox, who then, essentially absolutely destroys Chief again, like he did in episode 5, and he does again here. Maki sees this and activates the artifacts, essentially, I guess in a way to help Chief, but as it wipes out, essentially a lot of the Poseidon Covenant force, at least temporarily, and also Silver Team as well. And also places Chief in a free state, like he commonly has been every time the artifacts have been activated whenever he's close to him. And in another, I guess, quote-unquote vision. So Maki actually reveals to Chief that she's not coming back, and she wants him to go with her. And before Chief can really say anything, Kai notices that Chief is in a frozen state and can't wake up. So what does she do? It's revealed that Maki was shot by Kai. Just brings Chief immediately right up, and thank God that storyline is done. So because I did not want their romance to go any further than it already did. So thank God Kai saved the day. Another win in my book. So thank goodness. And then hell breaks loose again, with Ritz actually, absolutely brutally damaged and in a critical state. And with the rest of the Silver Team down, Chief makes an ultimatum. You remember how Cortana says she did not want to take control of him anymore? Well, he intentionally goes out there and lets himself get into a critical state, giving her no option but to take fully control of him. And as a result, essentially respawn pretty much, kind of like in the games, and he back up and just kicking ass, like immediately, essentially wiping out the Covenant, like we wouldn't typically known Chief to do. So, like when it's doing wielding plasma pistols, or and Cortana actually used her AI programming to actually essentially knock Atriox at least temporarily out, or if not kill him. But I doubt they're gonna kill him off so soon. I doubt that. It was more likely to just essentially incapacitate him for now. Anyway, and as a result, Silver Team eventually recovers and they retrieve the artifacts. And I gotta call something out here. Why the hell? Like, what logic is that? Where they don't try to take out the Prophets when they're literally right there? Like, what logic is that? So I guess because so they can. I don't know. That logic is was out the window for that one. Like, why? Like, that didn't make any sense. But anyway, that's more so nitpick though. Anyway, moving on. And yeah, and while after they're taking off, escaping the planet with the artifacts, they attend to Ritz's injuries. Seems to, I guess, using some kind of device, I guess, to essentially put out the blood, trying to stabilize her condition. And by removing her chest plate, and obviously it caused aggravating pain to Ritz, but eventually it does help, as it eventually stabilizes her, fortunately, at least until they could get back to Reach. And as Kai sits in the cockpit alongside Chief, and she kind of says, "Chief, are you there?" And in the final shot, Chief is not saying thing for obvious reasons. So, and that ends the season. So what did I think? I think this was definitely one of the better episodes. I mean, yeah, some of the action was a little bit messy in terms of its CGI and all that, but I think it was overall decent. A lot of action definitely kind of makes up. Now the question is, what's gonna happen with in season 2, where do we go from here? I assume that we're gonna. I think that's gonna lead to the fall of Reach for season 2, and also what's gonna happen with Chief himself? So is I guess the rest of the show gonna be where Cortana is just in mind controlling his body the entire time, or we get a Chief that's just not talking at all? Where it'll be essentially just the games, but or is it kind of until they get back to Reach, where I guess they quote-unquote revive them or something like that? I don't know. It's going to be. I have lots of questions about this, but for better or for worse, it's already been green light for season 2 and seemingly multiple seasons. So it seems like this is a long-term thing for Paramount. So for better or for worse, the Halo show is sticking around. So and I'm curious to see where this goes. So if I were to rate the episode, I'd probably give it a 8 overall, but for the season 1 overall, I'd give it a 6. It's not absolutely terrible like a lot of people in the community have been saying, but it's not great. So, but hopefully they kind of take feedback seriously for season 2, and they can move on from there. So, So what do you guys think? So what did you guys think of the season finale? I thought it was a little underwhelming, but the action I think makes up for it. So anyway, that's it for this video. What did you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you like this video, hit the like button, helps out on the way out, and consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss out on more content. And I will see you on the next video. Later.